I'm Kees Lokhorst, coordinator of the Agrobofood Project, and I'm also working at Wageningen Research. I will tell you the coming 15 minutes a bit more on the Agrobofood Project, and we'll also elaborate on the instrument we are using, the innovation experiments and the open calls for it. I will show some selected projects from these innovation experiments, and also we'll tell a bit about the actual open call and on an event we organized, and we call it Pitch Your Robot event. So this is what we would like to discuss in the coming minutes. To start with the Agrobofood Project, we are part of a European ambition, and that European ambition has two elements. Of course, EU has more elements, but the first is that it will strengthen the robotics solutions, because they have the feeling that robotic solutions will also be an answer for the big societal challenges we see in health, in smart transport, security, energy, environment, and also in agriculture. And millions of jobs are at stake. So agriculture is one of the main sectors where robotics also can be applied and can be used. The second ambition is on the concept of using digital innovation hubs and competence centers. So that is also creating one-stop shops. Agrobofood is not a single, it is a single project, but it is part of a whole ecosystem of all kinds of different projects within the EU. And you can see the Agrobofood over here in the middle. So it's somewhere in between the more robotic focused innovation actions like DHH Square, REMA, DHH Hero, and Trinity. And together we work within the Rodan CSA. But on the other hand, you see also a lot of projects with sector focus, like Smart Agri Hubs, like Demeter, and the Atlas project. So Agrobofood is in between robotics and in agriculture. Well, what is the ambition of the Agrobofood Project? Officially, the ambition is to establish and expand the pan-European network of digital innovation hubs and competence centers. And this network should stimulate and show the development of robotic concepts within that agri-food sector, and also to demonstrate that these robotic solutions also work in practical solutions. We divided Europe in 7 regions. In every region, we have a regional cluster coordinator, and the ambition is to have in every country within the EU at least also a national orchestrator that feels responsible of being a digital innovation hub with competences on robotics in agri-food. Well, the project consists of a mix of 37, 38 project partners. You can see all the logos. I will not explain them all. From Wageningen, we try to coordinate this group. But besides the project partners, because they are part of the network for 4 years when the duration of the project, we also attracting digital innovation hubs, business members, also to become member of that Agrobofood network, Agrobofood ecosystem of digital innovation hubs. So if you are interested, please visit the website. There is a button to join the network, and there you can find also the membership terms. Main strategy is indeed to build this network and to make it stronger, to load the network with knowledge, with all kinds of services you can think of technical, ecosystem, business, and training services, but also show that this network has added value for their customers, and their customers of these digital innovation hubs are SMEs, are mid-cap companies, and even agri-food companies like farmers, business cooperatives might be interested. But the Agrobofood network is supplying their knowledge to their customers, and those are also digital innovation hubs. So to show that robotics in agri-food and that the network will work, we make use of innovation experiments. And we start with 7 initial innovation experiments. Those members are also partners, but we also have half of our budget, 8 million euros, available for 3 open calls. And through one open calls on innovation experiments already succeeded in selected projects to become eligible for becoming an innovation experiment within the Agrobofood consortia of 2 to 5 partners have to be formed, guided by an SME. Also, end users should be involved, and they already should work on a proper solution and working on a real agri-food problem. And they should also have a contact with a regional or a local digital innovation hub, because we would like to test how that works together. So from the first open call, we received 93 different applications. We use a proper 2 steps review process. In that review process, in the first step, 12 were shortlisted, and it resulted in selecting 6 innovation experiments that last for 17 months, and they all started 3-4 months ago. We are proud to have these 6 innovation experiments. Each innovation experiment, I will show one slide what you can expect that is within that innovation experiment. So the first innovation experiment is coordinated by Sonicat Systems, and they are working on developing a robot to automatize the selection or the quality control, quality analysis of honey. And that's a very labor-intensive process. They are using human experts to check the quality of monofloral or polyfloral honey. And you can see over here the picture of the first prototype, and this looks a bit archaic. So in the meantime, they already have a better looking robot, but this is the example where they work on, and they try to bring in also a new AI technology and also test it in several countries. Second innovation experiment that is focusing on, the name is iCatch, and that's dealing with the problem in horticultural glasshouse structures and in controlling the disease. And here you see the normal route of a pup to a moth to an egg and to a larvae. And this system is working on using a very small robot, being a drone that can fly within a horticultural glasshouse just to catch these moths, to intervene this circle, so that it is prevented from new larvae, new eggs. So this is done by POTS, and that is from the Netherlands. The third innovation experiment, that is the acronym is AgroCrop, and they work on developing a robotic system using a big drone or a small helicopter, as you call it. And the problem they work on is frost frost risk reduction. So it's very actual in this period of the year, and by mixing air, the idea is so that the blossoms will not freeze. So normally also it's quite labor intensive, and together this company Alpha works together with genetic AI and also with Beat just to work on make that fully operational, so that also frost detection is used. And as a benefit, you can use the same drone, the same camera technology, or the same drone to observe the quality of the product on the ground. So this is the third innovation experiment that will mainly be guided from Spain. Then the fourth experiment that is coordinated by FIRA as a company, and that is focusing on spraying technology and on spot spraying. And their solution is to automate or to robotize the zone spraying and the plant spraying part of these types of sprayers, and they would like to test it in different species like apples, olives, and grapes in different countries. And you might say, okay, this doesn't look like a robot, but the robotic part is to fully robotize the functioning of this this spraying machine. So that's what they are working on. They already shipped their prototypes to these different countries, so they will start with their experiments. Then we will have two innovation experiments working in the open field on the problem of weed removal. This one is from the rower, and then the consortium is led by Dahlia Robotics from Germany, and they work together with two end users, the Biotop Oberland also in Germany, and Franziska and Johannes Blind. That was also another part. I thought it was in another country, but they also work on a modular concept and for the mechanical infrarow weeding removal. So here you can see that it will also be a combination of the development of further development of the robot, implementing AI-based vision, and also the end effector will be changed. Within these innovation experiments, they have a design phase, they have a more technical phase to improve their solutions and their product. And in the third phase, each innovation experiment also has to come up with a good business plan, and also have a good to develop a good business model. Well, the last innovation experiment is Newman. That is coordinated by Umana, and they also work on the weeding machine, and also there you can see that camera technology and effector is introduced. And then you can say, okay, why have different or more or less the same application? We can see that in the market there are already more of these types of innovation experiments, and it's also for testing our Agrobofood network. Well, as a result, we can see that of these 93 consortia who were interested to have an innovation experiment, only 6 could be selected. So we thought it would be good for the others also to improve their chance. That's also a function of the Agrobofood network. And we organized a Pitch Your Robot event. And how was it organized? That we invited all these consortia to give a pitch on 2 days, on 10th February and 11th of February, organized either by region or by sector. And we invited also all kinds of robotic investors, so commercial venture capitalists, other venture capitalists, business angels, so that in these 2 days they could pitch their solution, and also got contact with potential investors. So this was also quite a successful meeting. It will be organized also next year again. To come to an end of this presentation, you can see that currently it started on March 1st, but it will be closed on May 31st. We have a second round of this open calls for innovation experiments. So if people in the audience are interested to bring in a proposal, don't hesitate to contact, and you can find all the information on our website, where also the innovation and the open call experiments, or the open call, is depicted. So this brings me to the end of this presentation. For questions, my colleague collected them, and you can also visit the booth of either Agrobofood or Wageningen Agrofood Robotics. So are there in the meantime questions? Josje, can I ask you?
No, in the chat there were no questions asked. Okay,
also not in the Q&A. So then I assume that everything is clear. And if people are interested, don't hesitate to contact me or other project partners, or visit the booth on the FIRA.
You have 2 questions in the Q&A section if you want to answer it.
Okay, if the Q&A session.
Yeah, what kind of organization would count as an end user? Farmer, for example.
Yeah, farmers is a logical one. But also you can think of also advisors can make use of different robotic solutions. So it's not only the farmers, but you see that agro-food production networks are consisting of chains of organizations working together. So those can also be seen as an end user.
Okay. The next question: what's the minimum TRL required to apply?
Yeah, I think in the call text you can find it, but it's somewhere between 6 and 7 to start, and end after the 17-18 months, somewhere at 7-8. So you should already have a very good idea with this already a preliminary prototype to show and to elaborate on.
Okay, next question. What are the crop types considered?
No restriction. Also, it's not only restricted to crops, but also to livestock or insects or food production. So the example of the honey AI is also a very good example that's not only dealing with agriculture production, but also with food production, food preparation.
Okay, another question. Projects that already started could also be eligible?
If you can bring in a proper case, what you expect from the Agrobofood network, because the Agrobofood network is developing that pan-European network of digital innovation hubs. So you should be aware that you also your innovation experiment will be used for testing how to deliver specific services. And of course, you see that if you are able to make a very good proposal with also that business part, with further development of your solution, with the proper partners, you might be eligible.
Then another question, digital innovation hubs are mandatory as a partner in the consortium, or we can only to ask support from our Agrobofood regional digital innovation hub?
Well, as consortium, you have to align with a digital innovation hub, and preferably it should be a nearby one, so they act as a one-stop shop. If they are not partner of the Agrobofood project, you should also reserve budget for them to test them, and you always get a mentor from the partners when you are selected. And if you involve a partner of the Agrobofood project in your innovation experiment, then their services will be paid out of the budget, and you don't have to reserve money within your own consortium budget.
Okay, then one last question. How many diseases, weeds, insects are able to be tested for the one crop?
That depends on how many diseases are present within that crop. No, I think if you are asking more, yeah, should you develop a robot system or a robotic system that can cover a variety of diseases and be a mix between mechanical and spraying techniques, or that you develop a very dedicated one for a specific disease, and that's up to you. Where you see the best business model.
Okay. Thank you for your presentation, Kees Lokhorst.
Okay, thanks also for the audience.